Good evening, family. I want you to lean in and hear me when I say this. It's okay to let them miss you. I know. Sometimes we feel like we have to be everywhere, do everything, be available for every call, every text, every need, and every demand. But hear me today. You are not meant to be at everyone's beck and call. You are not an option. You are a priority. And sometimes the best way to show your worth, to show your value, is by stepping back and giving people the space to recognize what they have in you, because there's power in your absence. There's purpose in your silence. You see, God didn't create you to be overlooked, undervalued, or taken for granted. He created you with a purpose so divine that it cannot be fully appreciated unless you take a moment to step back and let the world catch up to the beauty of your presence. So tonight, let's talk about why letting them miss you is not just a strategy. It's a form of self-love, self-respect, and ultimately self-preservation. You are worthy of the space and time you take for yourself. And sometimes you have to make others realize that too. You're not just here to fill space. You're here to stand tall, take your place, and show the world that your absence is just as powerful as your presence. Knowing your worth is the foundational step in creating the life you deserve. Too often we place our value in the hands of others, whether it's in our relationships, careers, or even our social circles. We seek validation, approval, and recognition from people who might not even see the full picture of who we truly are. But when you truly know your worth, you stop looking for validation outside of yourself. You realize that you do not need anyone's permission to step into the fullness of your potential. Understanding your worth is not about arrogance or pride. It's about acknowledging the unique gifts, talents, and qualities you bring to the table. It's about recognizing that you are worthy of respect, love, and abundance, regardless of anyone else's opinion. Knowing your worth means not settling for less than you deserve. It means understanding that you have value, even when the world tries to tell you otherwise. When you know your worth, you stop giving people permission to treat you in ways that don't align with who you are. You become unapologetic about your needs, your desires, and your boundaries. When we don't know our worth, we become susceptible to the opinions of others. We allow ourselves to be shaped and defined by how others perceive us, and we become fearful of what might happen if we step into our full potential. The truth is, when you don't recognize your own value, you allow others to determine your significance, and that can lead to self-doubt, insecurity, and a lack of fulfillment. But when you understand your worth, you take control of your own narrative. You decide what your life will look like and who you will allow to be a part of it. There is a quiet strength that comes with knowing your worth. It's a confidence that doesn't need to be shouted from the rooftops because it's rooted in your spirit. It's a quiet assurance that no matter what happens in the world around you, you are still enough. You are enough because you are a creation of purpose. Your worth is not dependent on your performance or your ability to please others. It is inherent in who you are. The fact that you exist, that you have a heartbeat and a voice, that you have a story and experiences that only you can share, this is your worth. Your worth is not tied to your mistakes, your failures, or your past. It's not defined by the opinions of others or by the positions you hold in life. It is defined by the simple truth that you are worthy because you were created. When you know your worth, you stop shrinking to fit in places you were never meant to stay. You stop settling for relationships, jobs, or circumstances that don't reflect your value. You realize that you don't need to prove yourself to anyone, and you don't have to live up to anyone else's standards or expectations. The people who truly matter will see your worth without you having to constantly remind them of it. You will stop allowing others to take advantage of your time, energy, and resources because you now recognize that your time, energy, and resources are sacred. Knowing your worth also means you have to be willing to make hard decisions. It means having the courage to walk away from situations that no longer serve you, even when it's difficult. It means saying no when necessary and standing firm in your decisions, even when others try to make you feel guilty for setting boundaries. People will test your worth. They will try to see how much you will tolerate before you finally say enough is enough. But when you know your worth, you don't hesitate. You know that you deserve more, and you are willing to walk away from anything that doesn't align with the value you place on yourself. It's important to understand that knowing your worth doesn't mean you are perfect or that you won't face challenges or setbacks. It simply means that you recognize your value despite them. You understand that mistakes and failures are a part of life, but they don't diminish your worth. Your worth is not tied to your achievements, nor is it taken away by your shortcomings, unchanging and always present. The process of knowing your worth is ongoing. It's something you must continually remind yourself of, especially when life tries to convince you otherwise. Every challenge, every rejection, every failure is an opportunity to reaffirm your worth. It's a chance to remind yourself that even when things don't go as planned, you are still worthy of love, success, and happiness. When you truly know your worth, you no longer need external validation to feel complete. You are secure in who you are, and that confidence radiates outwards, drawing the right people and opportunities into your life. Embracing the power of absence is a concept that can feel counterintuitive in a world where we are constantly told to be present, to be seen, and to be available. Yet there is incredible strength in knowing when to step back, withdraw, and allow space for your absence to be felt. In a society where busyness is often equated with success and productivity, taking a moment to simply disappear from the scene can send a profound message about your value. When you learn to embrace the power of your absence, you begin to recognize that your worth is not based on how much time you spend in others' lives, but on the quality of the moments you choose to invest in. Being constantly present doesn't always equate to being appreciated. Sometimes the more available you make yourself, the more people take you for granted. They come to expect your presence, your help, your attention, and your energy without recognizing the toll it takes on you. Absence doesn't necessarily mean disappearing entirely, but it does mean giving yourself the space to recharge, reflect, and regain your strength. It means knowing when to step back and let others come to terms with how much you contribute to their lives. It allows others the opportunity to miss you, to realize what you bring to the table, and to understand your value in a way they may not have when you are always within arm's reach. In relationships, whether personal or professional, there is a natural rhythm that emerges when you allow yourself to be absent at times. You are not meant to be an accessory or a constant fixture. Instead, you are an individual with your own life, needs, and dreams. Being constantly available to others can result in a loss of your identity as you become too enmeshed in the lives and expectations of others. It's crucial to step away, even for a short while, so that you can reconnect with your sense of self. The moments of absence give you the space to remember who you are outside of your role as a friend, a colleague, a partner, or a caretaker. It's in this space of solitude that you begin to rediscover your passions, your desires, and your dreams. Absence also fosters appreciation. When people know they can't always rely on your presence, they are more likely to recognize the impact you have when you are around. It's human nature to take things for granted until they are no longer available. By embracing the power of absence, you allow others to understand the value you add to their lives, and this creates a healthier dynamic. The truth is, people cannot truly appreciate something or someone until they have been given the opportunity to miss them. It is often in these moments of absence that relationships strengthen and respect is built. But embracing absence isn't just about others, it's about you. You deserve time to yourself, away from the demands and expectations of the world. You need time to rest, reflect, and reset. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And if you are constantly giving without replenishing yourself, you will burn out. Absence allows you to replenish your emotional, physical, and spiritual energy When you step away, you give yourself the opportunity to heal, to reflect on what's working and what's not in your life, and to make decisions about what's next. It is during these quiet moments of absence that you often gain the clarity and insight needed to move forward with purpose and direction. There's also a beauty in absence that goes beyond relationships and personal growth. It is in absence that you can create space for your dreams and goals to manifest. Sometimes you need to take a step back from the noise and distractions in order to focus on what truly matters. It is when you step away from the everyday demands and allow yourself to retreat that you can reflect on the bigger picture and start to design the life you want to create. Absence from the hustle and bustle gives you the space to consider your next steps carefully and to take bold, intentional action when you return to the scene. The power of absence also teaches you patience. In a world that thrives on immediacy and instant gratification, absence can be a reminder that things of value take time. Whether it's personal growth, healing, or the development of deep connections with others, these things cannot be rushed. They require time, space, and patience to unfold. By stepping back and allowing things to evolve naturally, you give room for organic growth, and you allow things to happen in their own time. You may not always understand why you need to be absent, but in that absence, trust that the right things are happening in the background. There is power in knowing when to step back, when to say no, and when to let people experience the emptiness that your absence creates. You are not meant to be a permanent fixture in the lives of others. You are meant to show up with intention, to be present with purpose, and to leave a lasting impact. By embracing the power of absence, you begin to understand that your value is not measured by how much you give or how often you are available, but by the profound impact you have when you choose to step in. Absence is not weakness, it is strength. It is a strategy, a statement of self-worth, and a reminder that your time, your energy, and your presence are precious. Setting boundaries for self-preservation is an act of self-respect and a necessary step toward maintaining your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. Boundaries are not just limits. They are declarations of how you will allow others to treat you and how you will engage with the world around you. In a society that often values people-pleasing and constant availability, setting boundaries is not only crucial for preserving your peace, but also for ensuring that you continue to show up as the best version of yourself in every area of life. Boundaries create the space you need to care for yourself and safeguard your time, energy, and emotions, allowing you to give more to others from a place of abundance rather than depletion. Many people struggle with setting boundaries because they fear disappointing others or facing conflict. They worry that by saying no, they might appear selfish or unkind. But the truth is, boundaries are not about shutting people out or being unavailable. They are about creating a healthy dynamic that benefits both you and those around you. Without boundaries, we become overwhelmed, overextended, and ultimately resentful. We find ourselves saying yes to things we don't want to do, spending time with people who drain us, and neglecting our own needs and desires in the process. But when we set clear and firm boundaries, we give ourselves permission to honor our own needs without guilt or shame. We learn how to say no when necessary and how to prioritize ourselves in a way that doesn't diminish our love and care for others. Setting boundaries requires a deep understanding of your own needs and limits. It requires being honest with yourself about what you can give and what you cannot. When you know where your limits are, you are able to communicate them effectively to others without fear of judgment or rejection. Boundaries allow you to protect your time and energy from being depleted by people or situations that do not align with your values, your goals, or your sense of peace. They help you stay focused on what truly matters, enabling you to give your best to the things and people that deserve your attention. When you fail to set boundaries, you allow others to take more from you than you can afford to give, leaving you exhausted and burnt out. One of the most important aspects of setting boundaries is learning to say no. Saying no can be uncomfortable, especially if you are used to being the person who always says yes or who feels responsible for everyone else's happiness. But when you say yes to everything, you end up saying no to yourself. You rob yourself of time to rest, to reflect, to recharge, and to focus on your own dreams and goals. Saying no is not an act of rejection or cruelty. It is an act of self-preservation. It is a way of honoring your own needs and recognizing that you cannot be everything to everyone. Saying no allows you to preserve your energy for the things that truly matter, and it also teaches others how to treat you. When you say no with confidence and clarity, you set the tone for how you expect to be treated, and you encourage respect for your time and your boundaries. Another critical element of boundary setting is understanding that not everyone will respect your boundaries, and that is okay. There will always be people who push back or try to convince you that you are being unreasonable or selfish. This is where the importance of self-awareness comes into play. When you are clear on your boundaries and your reasons for setting them, you can stand firm in the face of resistance. You don't have to justify or explain yourself to anyone. Your boundaries are your own, and they are a reflection of your personal values and priorities. It's important to remember that you don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing to take care of yourself. Setting boundaries is not a one-time event. It is an ongoing process that requires consistency and commitment. It's easy to slip back into old patterns, especially if you have spent a long time neglecting your needs for the sake of others. But as you continue to practice setting boundaries, you will begin to see the benefits. You will feel more energized, more focused, and more at peace. You will begin to experience less stress and anxiety because you are no longer constantly overcommitting yourself or allowing others to take advantage of your time and energy. The more you set boundaries, the easier it becomes. And the more you will begin to recognize the incredible strength and power that lies in taking care of yourself first. Boundaries are not just about saying no to others. They are also about saying yes to yourself. They are about recognizing that your needs, your time, and your energy are just as important as anyone else's. By setting boundaries, you give yourself permission to put yourself first, to prioritize your own well-being, and to show up fully in your own life. You stop waiting for others to give you permission to take care of yourself, and you take responsibility for your own happiness and peace of mind. Setting boundaries allows you to protect the things that matter most, your health, your relationships, and your dreams, so that you can continue to show up as the best version of yourself for those who truly matter. Allowing space for others to value you is a crucial part of building healthy relationships and maintaining your sense of self-worth. Many of us tend to overextend ourselves for others, always being available, constantly giving, and often sacrificing our own needs for the sake of others. While this might feel like the right thing to do in the moment, it often leads to burnout, resentment, and imbalance in relationships. The truth is, people can't truly appreciate you or your contributions until they have the opportunity to miss you, to recognize your absence, and to understand the role you play in their lives. When you allow space for others to value you, you are not being selfish or distant. You are creating an environment where respect and appreciation can grow naturally. When you are always there, always giving, and always available, it can create a dynamic where others take you for granted. They may start to assume that you will always be around to support them without truly recognizing the depth of what you provide. However, when you step back and allow them to experience your absence, they are given the opportunity to reflect on your contributions and realize just how much they need you in their lives. Your presence becomes more meaningful because they have had the chance to understand what life is like without it. This absence doesn't have to be permanent. It's simply a way of creating space, allowing others to see your worth, and giving them the opportunity to truly appreciate what you bring to the table. Allowing space for others to value you also means taking the time to prioritize yourself, to step back from constant obligations and recharge. In doing so, you model self-care and self-respect for others. When you create space in your life for personal growth, reflection, and rest, you demonstrate to those around you that you value your time and your energy. This, in turn, teaches others how to value and respect you as well. It's a silent but powerful message that says, I know my worth, and I am not afraid to honor it. You can't give from an empty cup, and by stepping back when necessary, you ensure that your cup is full and that you have the energy to give to those who truly need it. People need to recognize the importance of your presence, but they can only do this when they are given the space to realize what they stand to lose. When you are constantly available, constantly pouring into others, they may not fully grasp how much of an impact you have on their lives until you step away. Absence doesn't just allow them to miss you, it provides them with the clarity they need to understand the value of your time, energy, and love. It creates a moment of pause where they can reflect on the depth of your contributions and the importance of your role in their lives. In this way, space is not just about physical absence. It's about creating emotional and mental space for them to recognize and appreciate the significance of your presence. In relationships, whether romantic, platonic, or professional, this principle applies across the board. People will only learn to value you when they recognize that you are not always available to fulfill their needs. This doesn't mean you abandon your loved ones or neglect your commitments, but it does mean that you take time to step back, focus on yourself, and allow others to recognize the value you add. If you are always available, people may take it for granted and expect you to be at their service at all times. When you create space, you encourage others to reflect on their expectations, and they become more aware of how much you contribute to the relationship. By allowing space for others to value you, you also give them the chance to meet you halfway. Relationships thrive when both parties understand the importance of mutual respect and effort. When you step back and allow space for others to step up, it creates an environment where both people are giving and receiving. You are not solely responsible for carrying the weight of the relationship. The other person is given the opportunity to contribute, to show their appreciation, and to invest in the relationship just as much as you do. This creates balance and ensures that the relationship is built on a foundation of respect, understanding, and genuine care. Another important aspect of allowing space for others to value you is that it encourages them to recognize your boundaries. People will not know how much you need space, time, or attention unless you give them the opportunity to understand it. By stepping back and allowing them to reflect on your absence, you are teaching them about your needs and desires in the relationship. This allows for clearer communication and a stronger, healthier bond between you and those you care about. In your professional life, allowing space for others to value you works in a similar way. If you are constantly available to your colleagues or superiors, they may begin to take your contributions for granted. But when you set boundaries, take time to focus on your own projects, and don't always respond immediately to every request, people begin to realize how much you add to the workplace. Your value is not in how much you do or how often you are available. It's in the quality of your work and the impact you have. When others recognize that you have set boundaries and that you are focused on the bigger picture, they will begin to value the work you do more deeply and respect the time and energy you put into everything you contribute. Ultimately, allowing space for others to value you is about self-awareness, self-respect, and creating healthier, more balanced relationships. By stepping back and creating moments of absence, you give others the chance to reflect on your worth and understand the impact you have on their lives. In turn, this allows for deeper appreciation, mutual respect, and stronger connections. Prioritizing yourself without guilt is one of the most empowering acts you can commit to in your life. It is easy to fall into the trap of constantly putting others first, thinking that by doing so you are being selfless or loving. But the truth is, constantly prioritizing others at the expense of your own well-being can lead to burnout, resentment, and a sense of emptiness. You cannot continue to give to others if your own well is empty. Prioritizing yourself is not an act of selfishness. It is a necessary practice of self-love and self-care. When you learn to put yourself first, you not only improve your own life, but also become better equipped to help and support others in a more meaningful and sustainable way. The idea of prioritizing yourself often comes with feelings of guilt. We are conditioned to think that putting ourselves first is selfish, or that we should always be available for others. But in reality, prioritizing yourself is a form of self-respect. It is acknowledging that you deserve to take up space, that your needs are just as important as the needs of those around you, and that your mental, emotional, and physical health should never be compromised. When you put yourself first, you are setting a standard for how you expect to be treated and teaching others to do the same. You are communicating that your time, energy, and well-being are precious, and they must be honored. One of the biggest obstacles in prioritizing yourself is the fear of disappointing others. We often think that if we say no or take time for ourselves, we will let someone down. But the truth is, you cannot continue to be your best self for others if you are constantly running on empty. You cannot pour into others from an empty cup. If you neglect your own needs, you will eventually feel drained and resentful. And that's not helpful to anyone. When you prioritize yourself, you are giving yourself the opportunity to recharge, to rest, and to heal. By taking care of yourself, you are better able to give to others from a place of abundance and joy rather than from a place of exhaustion or obligation. Prioritizing yourself means setting boundaries. It means knowing when to say no, when to step back, and when to create space for your own needs. Boundaries are essential for self-preservation. Without them, you will find yourself overcommitting, feeling overwhelmed and stretched thin. Boundaries allow you to say yes to the things that matter most to you and to say no to things that don't align with your values or needs. It's important to remember that saying no to others is not a rejection of them. It is an affirmation of your own needs. Saying no allows you to honor your time, your energy, and your peace of mind. By setting clear boundaries, you communicate to others that you are a priority in your own life and that your well-being matters. One of the challenges of prioritizing yourself is overcoming the ingrained belief that you must always be available for others, especially in relationships. We often find ourselves saying yes to requests even when we don't want to because we fear conflict or rejection. But constantly saying yes can lead to burnout and resentment. It's important to recognize that it's okay to put your own needs first, even if it means saying no to others. You are not responsible for everyone else's happiness or well-being. You can love and support others while still maintaining a healthy balance that honors your own needs. In fact, by taking care of yourself first, you become a better partner, friend, or family member because you are more centered, more present, and more energized. Prioritizing yourself also means acknowledging that your dreams and goals are just as important as anyone else's. Too often, we set aside our own aspirations in favor of helping others achieve theirs. While supporting others is important, it's equally important to invest in yourself and your own dreams. Your life is yours to live, and you deserve to pursue what brings you joy, fulfillment, and purpose. By prioritizing your own goals, you are demonstrating to yourself that you are worthy of success, happiness, and achievement. You are not a secondary character in someone else's story. You are the main character in your own life. It's also essential to understand that prioritizing yourself is not a one-time decision. It's an ongoing practice. Life is constantly changing, and your needs may shift from day to day or moment to moment. There will be times when you need more rest, more alone time, or more focus on your personal goals. There will be times when you need to set clearer boundaries or step away from certain relationships or situations. Prioritizing yourself is about being in tune with your own needs and recognizing when it's time to take a step back and focus on your well-being. It's a lifelong practice of listening to yourself, honoring your emotions, and being unapologetic about your need for rest, peace, and space. The key to prioritizing yourself without guilt is recognizing that your worth is not tied to how much you give to others or how much you do for them. Your worth is inherent, and it is not diminished by the times when you choose to focus on your own needs. You do not have to constantly prove your value by being available for everyone else. You are worthy simply because you exist, and you have the right to take up space, to rest, and to nurture your own well-being. Prioritizing yourself is a radical act of self-love. It is about honoring your own worth, your own needs, and your own desires without apology or shame. When you prioritize yourself, you send a powerful message to the world that you are worthy of love, care, and respect, and that you will no longer compromise your well-being for the comfort of others. There is incredible strength in knowing when to let go of people, places, or things that no longer serve your growth. Letting go is often one of the most challenging yet freeing actions you can take in your life. It requires courage, self-awareness, and a deep understanding that holding on to what no longer serves you can hinder your progress. Too often, we cling to relationships, situations, or even beliefs because we fear change, we fear being alone, or we fear the unknown. However, in order to truly move forward, it is essential to release what is holding you back. The process of letting go allows you to create space for new opportunities, healthier relationships, and a life that aligns more authentically with your true self. Letting go is not always about walking away from people. It is also about releasing the emotional weight that certain people or situations have placed on you. Sometimes we hold on to past hurts, grudges, or unresolved conflicts that prevent us from healing and moving forward. Holding on to these negative emotions keeps us anchored to the past, preventing us from embracing the future. When we choose to let go of these emotions, we free ourselves from the mental and emotional chains that bind us to hurt, resentment, and disappointment. It is a process of forgiveness, not necessarily for the other person, but for yourself. Forgiving is not about excusing behavior, but about releasing yourself from the burden of carrying negative emotions that only hinder your own growth. In relationships, letting go can be particularly difficult. We often invest time, energy, and emotions into people, hoping for mutual growth and connection. However, not all relationships are meant to last forever. Some people come into our lives for a season, and when that season is over, we must have the strength to let go. Holding on to relationships that are toxic, unfulfilling, or one-sided prevents us from making room for healthier connections. Letting go of someone who no longer contributes to your well-being is not a sign of failure. It is a sign of strength and self-respect. It is an act of recognizing that your peace, happiness, and growth are more important than maintaining a connection that no longer serves your higher purpose. Letting go also means relinquishing control. Many times we try to control outcomes, people, or situations because we want to feel safe, secure, and in charge. However, the need to control everything can create immense stress, anxiety, and frustration. Life is unpredictable, and trying to control every aspect of it can leave us feeling powerless. Letting go means accepting that not everything is within our control, and that's okay. It's about trusting the process, surrendering to the unknown, and allowing things to unfold as they are meant to. Trusting yourself and the journey you are on can be liberating. When you stop trying to control everything, you give yourself the freedom to embrace life as it comes, knowing that you will be okay regardless of what happens. Another important aspect of letting go is releasing limiting beliefs or self-doubt. Many of us carry beliefs that were formed in childhood or through past experiences, beliefs that tell us we are not good enough, we are not capable, or that we do not deserve success. These beliefs can hold us back from pursuing our dreams, from stepping into our full potential, and from embracing the possibilities that lie ahead. Letting go of these beliefs is essential for growth. It requires you to challenge the negative narratives you've internalized and replace them with more empowering thoughts and affirmations. Releasing self-doubt means believing in your own worth, trusting your abilities, and stepping into the person you are meant to become. Letting go also creates space for self-discovery and personal growth. When we are constantly holding on to things or people that no longer align with who we are or who we are becoming, we prevent ourselves from fully stepping into our potential. It's only when we let go of the things that limit us that we make room for new experiences, new opportunities, and new people who will support us in our growth. Letting go is a declaration that you are ready to evolve, ready to embrace the next chapter of your life with open arms. It's about trusting that when one door closes, another one will open, and that what is meant for you will always find its way to you. The fear of letting go often stems from a sense of attachment, whether it's an emotional attachment to a person, a place, or an idea of who we think we are. Letting go can feel like you are losing a part of yourself, but in reality, it is a form of liberation. It is the act of freeing yourself from the constraints of the past, from limiting beliefs, and from people or circumstances that no longer nurture your growth. When you let go, you are choosing to honor your own path, to trust your intuition, and to follow your heart without looking back. The act of letting go may be difficult, but it is also incredibly transformative. It is through this release that you create the space necessary for your new life, your new self, and your new possibilities to emerge. In order to truly let go, you must be willing to face the discomfort that comes with change. Change often brings uncertainty, and letting go forces you to confront the unknown. But within that uncertainty lies the opportunity for growth, healing, and transformation. Letting go is a powerful act of self-liberation. It is an act of releasing the past, embracing the present, and trusting that the future holds something even greater for you. It is in the space created by letting go that you will find the freedom to become who you are meant to be and to live the life you are destined for. In conclusion, the journey of letting go, setting boundaries, prioritizing yourself, and allowing others the space to value you is not an easy one, but it is absolutely necessary for living a life that is authentic, fulfilling, and grounded in self-respect. We cannot continuously pour from an empty cup. By recognizing when to step back, when to say no, and when to release what no longer serves us, we create space for our own growth, healing, and personal evolution. We make room for the things that truly align with our values and purpose. Each time we choose to prioritize ourselves, we send a powerful message to the world. We are worthy of love, respect, and care. The more we understand and practice self-respect, the more we teach others to respect us in return. In letting go of the things, people, and beliefs that hold us back, we step into a future that is not bound by the past. And when we allow others to miss us, we allow them the opportunity to truly appreciate the value of our presence. This path is about creating balance, fostering meaningful relationships, and staying true to who we are. It's about trusting ourselves enough to know when we need to let go and when we need to stand firm in our worth. As we continue on this journey, let us do so with the understanding that prioritizing ourselves and honoring our needs is not selfish, but necessary for our well-being and our growth. Only by letting go of what no longer serves us can we truly make space for the life we are meant to live.